I was doing a sketch show called Swinging in the UK on Channel 5, which was quite a low budget but really good fun comedy sketch show about relationships. And it involved all sorts of random scenarios, which many of those sketches would now be thoroughly cancelled. But it was a lot of fun, and we were sort of filming, 8 sketches a day. It was insane how much we were filming, and we were completely frazzled. And this was back in 2005 or 6. And it's what I had grown up doing. I'd done sketch shows at Edinburgh. I knew how to do sketch comedy, and I loved it. And then I got an email from my agent saying there's a Doctor Who spin-off happening. Do you want to go in for it? And I just, yeah, fine, okay, Welsh, fine, great. So I went in the waiting room. I realised it had to be, proper natural Welsh. So I decided to do an impression of my ex's dad, a man called Lionel. So I thought I'd just do him. And it was with Andy Pryor. And I just went in and did these couple of scenes which I'd learnt. But it's because I was in the middle of doing this sketch show for Channel 5 that I didn't have any time to get nervous. I didn't have any time to get distracted, the ADHD thing. I just kind of went, right, fine. I fell into it because I was so exhausted from doing this other show. I just gave a really good audition, which can sometimes happen. All the noise clears. You're just pure. And you just go, boom, there you are. That's what I do. And I just presented this version of him, and off the back of one audition I got it, and that was that.
Now, at the time, was it just going to be 1 or 2 episodes?
Yeah, at the time it was going to be in one series. He was going to be in 3 episodes at the beginning, and then I believe they were going to kill him off either at the end of the first series or maybe the second series. There was a plan to bring him back in and kill him off. And thank God for Russell T Davies. I mean, I'm not the first person to say thank God for Russell T Davies, but really, it's just like I have ludicrous levels of gratitude to that man. He said, no, let's keep him going. There's something in this. And I think that one of the things I brought to it was there's a thing that happens when you have when directors come and you have different random directors directing the show. It's not always the same person for the whole thing. And some directors, in the early days of a show, will look at the cast and say, that's my core, those 4 people. And these people, like the random policeman, are peripheral. And I don't really care, and I'm not going to give them any effort. They're not going to do rehearsals. We're not going to talk about their character. We're not going to work out chemistry. And then along comes an actor like Eve Miles, who knows that every single scene has to have belief and meaning and depth to it, even a scene with her, easily two-dimensional kind of character. She's like, no, we need to make this a thing. And I remember filming a scene on a bridge with her for Adrift, I think, and she gave it so much thought, and I was like, I couldn't believe how much effort and kind of depth she was giving it. And I obviously followed enthusiastically and got this chemistry with her. And then also there's just a couple of moments where I just took the piss. I just gave a bit more from Andy, like shrugs and moments and just a bit more life that a director in the moment directing that show would go, yeah, fine, okay, fine. And it would sort of end up by stealth in the show. And then people, those little tiny shrugs, those are the things. They're tacky, they're sticky, those little moments. An audience will grip onto those and they'll go, he's that guy, I like him. And the character didn't need to do that. It's not written to do that. But if an actor brings those little moments, you can suddenly, luckily, find it snowballing and then you become a bit more substantial. And I was very lucky. It was a very important learning curve, that.
It was interesting because it was a cast of, amazing talent in terms of the actors, but all the characters were pretty unlikable in different ways. I mean, you still found things you could relate to and you wanted to follow them, but they weren't likable characters. But Andy was actually someone that you liked. He was sort of the main. Yes. If you had to choose someone to go over beer with, it'd be Andy you'd go over beer with, because he was actually the one having the fun. And as I said, a bit goofy, a bit... I guess you were the everyday perspective of everyone in the audience watching, but actually having fun in it.
Yeah, I think that, if you look at the Doctor Who format, there is always a companion who does that, who goes, what is going on? And actually, that core group of Torchwood, that was missing. That wasn't there particularly. I think luckily Andy just fitted that slot. So I think it was, it worked for the show as well as me bringing stuff to it. It was an important kind of, just gave it a bit more reality, because that's what's so good about good sci-fi. The things that make you think it's definitely real. And there are some sci-fi shows that come along, I've seen a couple on Netflix recently, that are so sheened and don't have any depth, any humour, any kind of flaws like that, any little moments, any idiosyncrasies, and they're to use that stickiness analogy, they're Teflon. Nothing sticks. They go. There's nothing interesting. You want it. Let's go with the saucepan analogy. You want sticky, you want tacky, you want a bit of the last meal you had stuck to the thing when you start cooking up a new episode. You know, you want stuff to retain and remain. And that definitely happened with Andy.